Your stories. This is BBC Radio Oxford.
So it's Sophie Law sitting in for David Prevost all week. Our family of the week, a slightly depleted family of the week in the studio now. We did have Vicki and Ian and Freya and Joshua. Now, Ian's had to go to work.
He's gone to work, that's right.
Freya hopefully is still alive after going off upstairs with Lily Mitchell to bake a cake in the microwave. We'll hear from them soon. Joshua's still here with you. Vicki, you are 2 sleeps away from the London Marathon.
So it seems, yes.
Are you suddenly kind of thinking, how on earth did it get to this stage?
Yes. Yeah, it's getting increasingly tense.
I love that you've come in your full kit this morning. Is that because you're planning a run after the show, or just getting into the psychological zone?
A little bit of both, actually. At work, we're doing a virtual marathon this morning, so to sort of finish off the fundraising and gather a bit of support. So yes.
Okay, good stuff. And, I mean, you must be nervous. Are you nervous? This is your first London Marathon.
It is my first London. I'll be much more nervous on Saturday. You get to this point, I don't know about you, but in tapering, you get to this point where I'm prone to what we call a taper tantrum.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Just haven't had enough exercise. I'm a bit nervous, and I'm incredibly, incredibly tense. So you only have to look at me wrong, and I'm going to get all diva-ish about it.
Are you listening to this, Josh? Don't look at your mum wrong today, because there could be some trouble for you and you won't be allowed out tonight, okay?
It's fine, I won't be seeing her for
Staying out of the way, that's wise. Just tell me a little bit again about the charity you're running for, which is DASH.
Yes, the charity it's called the DASH charity, and it stands for Domestic Abuse Stops Here, and they do fantastic work with families who've been affected by domestic abuse. So they run refuges and provide counselling for families who've been affected, but they also do brilliant work in schools around educating children around what a healthy relationship looks like, what consent is like, what respect feels like, and the fact that under the sort of hashtag love doesn't hurt, so teaching children how to identify when a relationship begins to turn unhealthy and what the dangerous things to look out for are.
It's a really important message.
I think it really
fantastic
is.
stuff.
Yeah.
Any idea what the total is you're close to? What are you sort of hoping to raise for DASH?
We've done really, really well. I was given an original target of 1,250 and we've smashed that. We're at 2,400 and something at the moment. I'd really love us to get to 3,000 by the time we cross the start line on Sunday. So it's just a final push for the last kind of £500, and that would just be amazing.
Oh, good stuff. You are not alone, though. Also in the studio this morning is Andrew Smith, who works at Oxford University, also running on Sunday. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Tell me who you're running for.
I'm running for African Children's Fund, who are a locally based charity who have project areas in East Africa, and they provide education, health needs, skills and nutrition to African children. And it's for orphans and street children to stop them begging, and sort of gives them an entrance into school and the whole education system. And they do porridge clubs, so each £1 that's donated, they get 14 bowls of porridge, so they get as a kid in school for 2 weeks. And it's they've helped so many children over the years, and yeah, it's just it's
it must be quite tricky. I mean, there's so many worthy causes. It must be quite tricky to actually pick your one.
Well, luckily I'm quite close to this charity. A lady called Tamsin Weimer, who got me the place in the marathon, she was at school with my brother. So my
connections.
Yeah, my mum was in antenatal classes with her mum. So we the whole family's been very close for years, and her husband Daniel's my running coach, and on my training plan and things like that. So it's quite a close charity to be for, and they're really supportive, and it's been a fantastic opportunity. And I've been wanting to do London Marathon for about 20 years.
So I was going to ask, is this your first London? Is this your first marathon? What sort of stage of your marathon journey are you at?
This is my first London Marathon. It's going to be my 4th overall. I've done Bournemouth and Manchester before, and I did Brighton last year, but I had to pull out 18 miles because it went a bit pear-shaped.
Oh no!
Yeah,
How was that, having to kind of actually begin and get so far and then drop out?
I was glad to stop, to be honest.
I'm sure.
It was such a hot day, and it was after about 3 miles, it sort of got really narrow, and it was so hot with all the people around you, and I was struggling, so I was stopping at each water station, and it's you did that last year as well.
Brighton last year, yeah.
Yeah, and I just was struggling on the out and back along the coast. I just wasn't really up for it. I got to 18 miles, and funny enough, there's a family from Oxford who had moved to Brighton, and I'm a Headington Road Runner's top on, and they started speaking to me. I was like, if you know where Headington is, I'm going to just stop and sit with you for a bit and pull out, because I think I got 18 miles. People said, well, you was close to the end, but you're not.
Not
it's
that.
Never 8 miles, and that's a long way.
I'm not knocking your achievement. 18 miles is way more than I could ever do, but that's still a long way. I mean, the marathon documentary last night, I don't know whether either of you saw it, The Mind Over Marathon, which is all about sort of mental health and how running can improve your mental health. You know, she was saying the mum who had done, I think she did an 18-mile run, and she said, the thought of carrying on, which is what she's going to have to do. I mean, it is a mental battle, isn't it, Vicky? Sort of persuading your legs to keep on going, as it were.
It really is. It's far more in the mind than in the legs, those last few miles, actually. And I got to Brighton, the point at Brighton last year, where there was just another 3 miles to go, and I was thinking, it's just parkrun, it's a breeze.
Yeah.
I have never run such a painful 3 miles in my life. And you get to the point on the finishing straight where you've got your name on your chest and they're all calling you in, and you think, I just want to stop, but it's far too embarrassing.
That's the British stiff upper lip is a marvellous thing in that respect, that you just think, I can't possibly stop this close to the finish. But I mean, what do you think? Do you feel better? Do you get a buzz, Andrew, from running and from going out and doing this?
I definitely do, and I was speaking to a lot of people at the running club this week, and there's a quote that sort of sticks with me. There's a lady called Nikki Lopez who's a breast cancer survivor. She's got a group.
She's brilliant.
She's brilliant. She does a group on Facebook called Running the World, and she's really inspirational. She does running jewellery, and it's sometimes foul mouth.
Got some on my feet.
You've got some on your feet at the moment. And yeah, she's put a quote last year, and she said, like, running is a celebration of the good times and a therapy for the bad. And that's really stuck with me, because when you're feeling good, you can go out in the sun, have a run, and if you're feeling down, just get a bit of me time and just get out there, and you can forget any of the sort of troubles, and you're concentrating so much on running that you just sort of forget everything, really. And like, people at the club, they've got young children and stuff, and they say, like, I'm going to go for a run just to get, this sounds awful, get away from the kids, but in a nice way, just have a bit of free time.
I hear you.
So I think, that's really stuck with me, and I think, like, obviously the documentary was on last night, and how running can improve your mental health, and just having something that can sort of spark that inside you, whether it's running or an art or any other sport. I think just having that there is a good release. And
but what about keeping a lid on your emotions? So my dad did a 100-mile cycle London last year, and what really surprised him was he spent most of the time, he said, in tears. I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, because he was doing it for Macmillan, and people sort of kept shouting out their stories of how Macmillan had helped him from the sidelines, and he kind of blubbed all the way round, and I was like, well, how did you cycle with tears in your eyes? It is an emotional day, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I tend to cry at any distance longer than 10 miles, to be honest. So I'm expecting to be around. I mean, I know Nikki, for example, always puts full makeup on for a marathon. I couldn't do that. I couldn't run in mascara. It would be a disaster.
What about you, Andrew? Do you find it an emotional experience?
I do, yeah. I think I remember crying on the finish line of Manchester Marathon when you get to Old Trafford and coming down there. And speaking to people about the marathon this week, they said just be prepared to cry at any given point. They said, like, so I'm expected to cry at Cutty Sark, over Tower Bridge, halfway, Canary Wharf, and like, I'll be an emotional mess by the end of it. But,
well, I wish the best of luck to you both. Andrew, how are you getting down to London?
We've got a club coach going, so there's 7 of us who are running it, but we're taking 50 extra supporters.
Nice. You don't need to worry too much then.
No, I'm having anxiety dreams though about like, missing the tube or left my kit in the hotel, but I'm not even doing that on the day. So it's just, as you say, taking madness. It's
well, if you don't have the luxury of Andrew's team bus, if you are heading to London on Sunday from Oxfordshire to watch or to run, just a heads up, you could be faced with some disruption on the trains. The line into Paddington's closed for engineering work, so there's a bus replacement service on that. But the X90 coach from Oxford is taking marathon runners for free. So good luck to everybody running. Andrew and Vicky, both of you, I hope you to achieve what you want to achieve, get over the finish line, most importantly, in one piece.
Yes,
and raise some fantastic cash as well.
BBC Radio Oxford.
Your time saver travel.